So, good afternoon. Third year Bcom Computer Applications, uh, Semester 6 MAS. Today's topic is planning process or planning. So, what is planning, management planning, and what are the different tools used in planning? Like that. So, here we use three types of categories of management. We know that top management, strategic, and generally top management uses strategic management or strategic planning, and middle level management uses technical planning, and first line management uses operational planning. Operational planning means generally it is a clerical, generally clerical staff uses. Tactical planning means it comes under management, middle level management, and strategic management. The strategic planning is generally used by top level management. So, annual plan, again planning are different types like annual plan, quarterly plan, weekly plan, and daily plan. So, annual plan means capital plan for engineers, and OM and M objectives for maintenance, and quarterly plan is reasonable milestones, and weekly plan comes under specific deliverables, and daily plan means detailed schedule. Daily plan means detailed schedule. So, operational management. So, what is operational management means generally work planning matrices like inventory, annual goals, and performance standards, resource requirements, scheduling, like that. So, what is annual operational planning? Means determine requirements for what are the requirements for annual operational planning? Means annual maintenance cycle and standard daily accomplishments and seasonal or monthly goals, and match resources to requirements and make choices, set priorities, reality check, and are we. So, scheduling. What is scheduling? Scheduling is nothing but it is a timeline given to complete a work, generally by the various levels of the departments and for the various levels of the processes. So, scheduling generally covers geographically based. It means scheduling is generally based on scheduling is done based on geographically based work and adjust cycles to physical characteristics and conditions. So, scheduling is generally used to adjust cycles to physical characteristics and conditions and determine consequences of failures, determine consequences of failure, and define responsibility for planning and scheduling work. Define responsibility for planning and scheduling work. So, work scheduling means repairing, for example, dig node, establishment, bad node, like that, and rehabilitation. Special work scheduling under special projects means manage demand for emergencies, backups, routes for and engineering projects, and political responses, and assistance to other departments and agencies, like that. So, what are the tools? What are the different types of tools used in project concepts or project planning? So, generally, every project have different components or parts. First one is defining the goals of the project. Second one is defining the major steps to be taken, and what are the list resources. What are the list resources available? What are the resources needed? And defining obstacles, and list solutions or contingencies, and identify key stakeholders, and identify team members, technical persons, and human resource persons, and like that. So, all these are the different steps or different requirements generally used in project management. So, first one is defining the goals, means goals of the project. And second one is define major steps. So, what are the major steps to be defined while using projects? List resources needed, means what are the resources needed. And the third one is define obstacles, list solutions or contingencies. Identify key stakeholders. Identify so identify key stakeholders and identify team members. Identify team members means what are the resource persons and what are the team members means team members and team managers like that. Next, tools. So what are the different tools? What are the different tools available in project management? So generally, while using project management, we may use different tools and techniques which are generally used. First tool is called as Gantt charts. Gantt charts construct. So Gantt chart. What is a Gantt chart? Gantt chart is one of the tool, project management tool, generally used to define and draw the various levels of status of working of a project. So this is the simple example of a Gantt chart. So generally in Gantt chart, in x-axis or in top level, we may mention some time or dates, and in the y-axis we may use some tasks to be completed, various tasks to be completed. So for example, in construction business, we may select or choose various tasks like select contractor, form teams, formation of teams and public mailing, personal notice, construction, demolition and concrete work, landscaping, and finalizing projects and furnishings and landscapings like that. And in the whereas in the x-axis it may mention various levels of projects, projects like timelines. Various timelines are given like date and times of various date and times of various times for to be completed. So this is another example of using the Gantt charts. This is another example of using various Gantt charts. So generally Gantt chart number 6 construction projects. So by using a single Gantt chart, Gantt chart, we may know the status of various projects. We may know the status of working status of various projects and the working status of the various tasks like that. So by using some bar symbols, we may know the working status of the various projects presently working and completed projects and like that. So timeline. What is a timeline? Timeline is nothing but it is a time required at a specific predefined time. Timeline is nothing but the time required to finish a job. The time required, the specific time required, or the so timeline chart or a timeline graph. What are timeline graphs? So in timeline graph, we may represent each and every event. Each and every event with a specific time. Means for example January 1st to February 4th select contractor, and February 1st to 20 farm team, and May 18th to 28 construction demolition, and June 1 to 16 concrete work, June 17 to 28 landscaping. So this is the timeline graph, example for timeline. Next, third type of charts are called as PET charts. PERT, PET charts. So what are PET charts? So generally in PET charts, all the events are represented. All the events are specified with week wise, means in week 1 draft notice and add and in week 2 mailing list, week 3 is mail notices, like that. So reporting tools. So what are the different types of reporting tools used? Means work order tools, crew reports, management reports, weekly or monthly, and design reports for audience. So what are work management problems? Work management problems means scope, script, and managing stakeholder interests and expectations, and inadequate communication, long timelines, material recruitment problems, unreliable contractor, etc. So what are the three P's? Three P's means one is for people. So what are three P's? Three P's means here people and performance planning and performance coaching and evaluation. So generally people understand the individuals and unlock human potential and coach with empathy. So performance planning. What is performance planning means? Encourage self-motivation and connect interest and set goals, force a commitment. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So what do you mean by Maslow's hierarchy of needs? So self-esteem and recognition and respect and belonging and safety and security and survival. So goal settings. What are goal settings? Means involve employee in setting goals, and performance development and project and program accomplishments, career development, like that. So set smart goals. So what are set smart goals? Means specific, measurable, and attainable, and realistic, and time sensitive. So performance coaching means generally mold employees to think for themselves and take initiative in problems and solve problems. So coachable movements means performance results, job task progression and innovation and creativity. Negative performance results, job task deterioration and mistake or lapses. So feedback model. What is feedback model? Means state the expectations and describe what the employee did, describe specific behaviors, do not assume intent, and describe the impact and describe the goal, and determine what should happen next. And feedback skills. So current corrective coaching means use good judgment, don't be judgment, and have civilized dialogue, don't debate or berate, provide employee opportunity to solve problems and work toward a positive future outcome. So feedback skills. Delivering a difficult message, modify feedback style for individual, be cognizant of tone and manner, and keep anger out of the picture, and state the problem, be specific, determine the root of the problem, and develop solutions, and state expectations and check for understanding, make a note of your discussions. When it is not working out, means consult with manager and HR, restate your expectations, establish corrective actions, check for understanding, and observe implementation, and document every step, and terminate within probability period of if performance is not acceptable. So performance appraisals. So generally continual process. Performance appraisal is a continuous process, memorized by periodic reviews, and goal is to review past performance, set goals for future performance, plan for employees development, and make the process participative. So preparing to appraise means review appraisal form, have job responsibilities changed, and how have circumstances impacted performance, checkable performance noted, and prepare to meet with employees. Next, preparatory meeting means meet with employee to prepare, explain collaborative process, acknowledge any changes in expectations upfront, ask employees to do self-rating, and ask employee to identify goals, schedule appraisal meetings. Next, appraisal meetings review past performance and job responsibilities, core competence, and progress on goals. So appraisal meetings also plan future performance, agree on goals and program or project goals, performance development goals, personal development goals, and complete action plan, identify resources, timelines, and benchmarks, and identify what support you will provide. So appraisal tips: schedule adequate times and prepare in advance. Give the employee time to prepare. Give the employee time to prepare and put the employee at easy. Use the feedback model and check for agreement or understanding. Adjust your style to the individual. So appraisal tips. So appraisal tips means make appraisal a continuous process. Use ongoing debriefing, check in periodically between formal appraisal discussions. Consider asking employee to give you feedback. So a parting thought means, so these are the important topics covered in planning tips and planning, scheduling, planning, and project management tools and graphs like CPM. So what are the major project management tools used? Means CPM charts. Second one is Gantt charts. Third one is timeline charts and PET charts. So what are the four different reporting tools? So five. So what are the five important tools and techniques used in project management is CPM chart. Second one is Gantt charts. Third one is timeline charts. And fourth one is PET charts. And fifth one is reporting tools. So we will continue with another PPT. So controlling. What do you mean by controlling? So controlling is a management function. So what is meant by controlling? Controlling is a process of monitoring performance and taking action to ensure desired results. It sees it to it that the right things happen the right ways and at right time. So that is the purpose of using controlling in management. So controlling is a management function. So a process of monitoring performance and taking action to ensure desired results. It seems to it that the right things happen. It seems or it sees to it that the right things happen the right ways and at the right time. Next, controlling is done well. It ensures that the overall directions of individuals and groups are consistent with short and long range plans. It helps ensure that objectives and accomplishments are consistent with one another throughout an organization. Next, controlling it helps maintain compliance with essential organization rules and policies and establish. So what is the control process means? The establish objectives and standards and measure actual performance and compare results with objectives and standards, take necessary actions. Next, establish objectives and standards means the control process begins with planning and the establishment of performance objectives, and performance objectives are defined and the standards for measuring them. So establish objectives and standards. So there are two types of standards. First one is output standards. Standards means measures performance results in terms of quality, cost, or time. So there are two types of standards. First one is output standards means measures performance result in terms of quality, quantity, cost, or time. Input standards means input standards means measures work efforts that go into a performance test. So measurements must be accurate enough to stop deviations or variations between what really occurs and what is most desired, and without measurement effective control is not possible. So comparing results with objectives and standards. So the comparison of actual performance, the comparison of actual performance with desired performance establishes the need for action, and ways of making such comparisons include historical, relative, engineering, benchmarking. So taking any action necessary to correct or improve things. And management by exception means focuses managerial attention on substantial differences between actual and desired performance. Next, taking corrective action means management by exception cannot save the manager's time, energy, and other resources, and concentrates efforts on areas showing the greatest need. There are two types of exceptions. First one is problems below standard and opportunities above standard. So effective controls. Next, the best controls in organizations are strategic and results oriented. So the best controls in organizations are strategic and results oriented and understandable, encourage self control. Next, the best controls in organizations are timely and exception oriented. Timely and exception oriented and positive in nature and fair and objective and flexible.
అది కరెక్టే ఉంది. అంటే ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఒకటే పెట్టేసి బిఏ పెట్టేసి కోర్సెస్ అన్ని కలిపి ఒకటే వేసేసి 120 అని వేసేస్తే సరిపోతుందేమో.
Next, what are the different types of controls? So preliminary, so interpreliminary, sometimes called the feed forward controls. They are accomplished before a work activity begins. They make sure that proper directions are set and that the right resources are available to accomplish them. Next, concurrent controls. Next type of controls are called as concurrent controls. Focus on what happens during the work process, sometimes called steering controls. They monitor ongoing operations and activities to make sure that things are being done correctly. Third type of control is called as post action, sometimes called feedback. Sometimes called feedback controls. They take place after an action is completed. They focus on end results as opposed to inputs and activities. And managers have two broad options with respect to control. We can rely on people to exercise self-control. Alternatively, managers can take direct action external to control the behavior of others. Next, internal controls allows motivated individuals to exercise self-control in fulfilling job expectations. So the potential for self-control is enhanced when capable people have clear performance objectives and proper research support. Next, external controls means it occurs through personal supervision and the use of formal administrative systems, performance appraisal systems, compensation and benefit systems, employee discipline system, and management by objectives like that. Next, organizational control systems. Organizational control systems means management processes, so strategy and objectives, and policies and procedures, selection and training, and performance appraisal, and job design and work structures, performance modeling, norms, and organizational cultures. Next, organizational control system. So compensation and benefits. So attract talented people and retain them, and motivate people to accept maximum efforts in their work, and recognize the value of their performance contributions. Next, employee discipline means discipline is defined as influencing the behavior through reprimanded, and progressive discipline ties and positive discipline tries to involve people more positively and directly in making decisions to improve their behavior. Next, the hot store rule is to be effective. Discipline should be so immediate, focus on activity, not personality, and consistent, informative, occur in a supportive setting, support realistic rules. So we will continue in the next class.